Once again to another episode of Expressed Opinion. I am your girl, Lynn Roberts.
I'm that girl, DC.
And I'm your boy, T. Roy.
And Big C's.
Big C's!
Hope everyone had a great week, fantastic week. How's everybody? Everybody had a good week? A good week? A good week?
Oh, good week? Yeah, it was all right.
Yeah, I had a good week because the weather was good.
Oh yeah, this was
Coming back, right?
The weather was good.
But next week is gonna be like we back in winter. But anywho, so today with everything that's going on, I don't know if you all have noticed, like especially like with the commercials and stuff that are coming on now and shows and stuff now, how you see more interracial couples.
Ooh. Yeah.
On TV now.
Oh,
Has
yeah.
anyone ever?
Yeah. Super Bowl was big with that.
Oh, okay. So I thought today would be a good day to talk about mixed races.
Oh, okay.
Or race mixing. Yeah, you know, Jungle Fever, Spike. Remember that movie Spike Lee made, Jungle Fever?
And then they made a song. You got Jungle Fever. You got Jungle Fever.
I got Jungle Fever. I got Jungle Fever.
Oh,
we got Jungle Fever.
I knew it went like that somewhere. I knew it had somewhere like that.
And the artist.
Okay. So, check this out. So, I thought, okay, race mixing, the swirl, and Jungle Fever. Whatever you want to call it.
I think we should start off, everybody should answer whether or not they have, if they tried it or if they actually engaged in a relationship with someone of another race. So, T-Roy, you start off.
I have.
You have?
I had a Puerto Rican girlfriend and I had a Caucasian girlfriend. Yeah, I've done it.
Okay.
Yeah.
I have.
Briefly.
I haven't.
No,
Not yet.
but I don't think Puerto Rican is
Don't
straight
say you're
that
not
far off the reservation.
Uh-huh.
I don't consider Puerto Rican that far off the reservation.
I mean, I was young though. You know what I'm saying?
Because
I was
Puerto
young.
Rican, Mexican.
Yeah, I don't see that as very far off the reservation.
I did.
Race mixing is if they're not African American, they're above another race. So, Latino, anybody else.
True, very true.
I tried to, but it never got off the ground. I could not bring myself to engage in a relationship. He was Puerto Rican. Good guy, but it didn't sit well with me.
Why?
When he came to my neighborhood, I was just like literally, it did not sit well with me.
So you were scared for him?
Carlitos way?
No, it was a little bit of both. I think it was how I thought people viewed me, and then I was like, I don't know, I don't know. I don't know if I can do this.
Okay, so on the inside, on the outside of that, were you happy?
No, I never let myself get a chance to even go there. I was like,
So why did you try?
Because we was at an arcade. Remember arcade that was on White Glove by Godfathers? And we was in there and he just kept like following me around and we exchanged numbers. We talked, it was good. And we would hang out and then that's when he started like, I like you, and I was like, okay. But me trying to talk to him in that manner never crossed my mind until he brought it to me. I was like, okay. But to hold his hand and be like,
Man, listen.
I
put it this way. I haven't had sex with them, but I did have a relationship.
Damn.
Yes.
Wow.
He said he dated.
Who did I dated a Puerto Rican?
Which one?
I never had sex with them, but I dated them.
So how would you approach it, and what did their family say to you?
Well, the Puerto Rican girl, I never met her family like that. I was in New York. So, when we saw each other.
New York was a big melting pot. Blacks and Puerto Ricans, they mixed all the time. So it was like, that ain't nothing.
Right. With the white girl, I went to her house, I met her parents, sat there and ate dinner, and, what I'm saying? We went out to the movies, to the fairs.
I'm just asking.
So the
food was good.
Wow.
They loved me. They loved me.
Did they have to do something?
I was very respectful. I was very respectful. So it was like that was a plus.
So let me ask you something. Did you feel like you were yourself? Did you feel like you had to be a little extra?
No, I was myself.
Okay.
And that's what her mother said. I don't want you to feel like, we're looking at you any different. I just want you to be yourself.
Well, you should never have to preface
Now,
that.
Pop wanted me to go on a whole lot of adventures and stuff with me. Hey, you hunt? No, I don't hunt. You fish?
You beat a hunter.
Nah,
I don't fish.
So, hey, well, I want you to come with me one weekend. We're going to go. Hey, I went fishing. I did not go hunting. Because if you had threw my ass in the water, I could swim. But I can't got there. I would have been be like Ice Cube on a hunting game and them running after me. Nah, I'm just joking. But, they were good people, man. I mean, it was nothing, to be afraid of. I felt comfortable. Now, I never introduced her to my mother.
Why?
Because I know my mother always told me, hey, bring her. You know what I'm saying? Like, my mother, that was my mother. And, as I got older, she didn't care, but I know what she said.
Do you think she didn't care? You think she got to the point she didn't care, or she just wasn't thinking about it because you never did?
I don't think she just didn't want me to do that. She probably just was scaring me. Because, truth be told, man, I'm going to be real with you. Half of my family, as far as the boys in my era, my age, they got Mexican wives and white wives and mixed kids.
Okay.
So, I mean...
That's the same thing with me. I have a multiplicity of cultures in there. But for me, I don't see how they can connect with what our black struggle looks like and feels like. So I feel that will become a term, one of the things of it will be a term of where we bump heads.
So you did date, right, outside your race?
I talked to him, but didn't really date. We didn't go out and do the full, it was sort of the thing. We were there to talk. Hey, how you doing? No, I don't think this is going to work.
I did. Her name was, I give you her name. Her name was Wendy Hall.
Oh, wow.
And because I still, I see her and she's like, hey, and whatever. And I'm like, wow. I had my own car.
Oh, wow.
So, I mean, it is what it is.
But yeah, I couldn't do it. I couldn't. Think about it. Just think you're sitting there and you're going through and watching the OJ trial. And you're yelling, yeah! And there's this young lady sitting next to you from the opposite side. Even the ideas, not even that, the ideas of, police brutality, all the other things going on, they don't, and these were white friends that I have, females. I went to a white university when I started my undergrad. And I saw that conflict there. They don't get it. Now to have that sitting in your house and deal with that, let's just say you get to the other step and then have kids who are caught in the middle of that. I mean, how do you deal with it? I don't know. My brother would. I have the most beautiful mixed niece ever, but I wouldn't know how to broach those subjects.
I wouldn't, and I think that's one of my greatest fears, is because if we came down to having real conversations, they couldn't really get that real. And don't get me wrong, I believe that there are other races that can empathize. Well, sympathize. I don't even think they can empathize because they got to get in the hole with me to empathize. Sympathize. They might be able to sympathize. But unless it's a culture that has been or experienced, we haven't experienced, it's hard to say I understand. So when you have those conversations, or you have a child of a mixed race and you sit down and say, okay, this is what you show them stories like, let's say Kunta Kinte, or you show them the March on Selma, and this child is a mixed race. How do that child pick a side? Because, well, daddy, y'all did this to mama people, or mama, you did this to daddy people. Why? Like, how do those things come into play? Or do you just not discuss it?
Yeah, it's being discussed. I'm sure it is, and it's being.
Well, you gotta realize that you want to talk about it in school. So where are you discussing it?
At home.
Well, my niece had an interesting. I can't remember the full thing of the letter, and she was a little girl at the time during COVID. her teachers sent out this document that seemed a little insensitive to kids of color, and she sent it to my niece too. And my niece wrote back like, "Why did you send this to me? Is it because of what side of me are you sending this to?"
Oh wow!
And the way it was written, and she sent it back to the teacher, I felt funny. I felt bad for the teacher having to read that. You know, to this because, and at that young of age to actually feel that those disparities in race and having to stand and defend yourself on either side.
And that's another thing.
Yeah.
Which side is accepting you? I think you probably accept it more in an African American culture. Because with other races, you have one drop of black.
That's the one drop theory. The one drop theory is you have a drop of black.
But you know, I've seen stories of kids who are of mixed race and they feel that they're left out on either side because they're like they don't fit in on the black side, they don't fit in on the white side, so they're just out there on a little island by themselves, you know, and that's disheartening for kids because they didn't ask to come in this world like that, you know.
I guess it depends on how much ink was in the toner because
yeah,
if you got yourself a Obama, a very dark mixed race man, or you come out exceptionally light. On the other hand,
and you have those, you do have that.
Yep.
You do have some black people that can pass
very much
for white. They have the real fine hair. Some they have blue eyes, and they could very well
look at their lips and nose.
Yeah, they could. And then they like, I'm like, you what?
The Christmas movie, Imitation of Life.
The Imitation of Life, exactly. Now one day I can't watch that movie because nose get all stopped up. And my eyes start sweating watching that movie.
I'm gonna tell you what helped me out in our relationship. They were hip black people. They wasn't trying to act black. That's how they grew up.
What is trying to act?
Yeah.
You know how you come on now. You know how some cultures be trying to act black by wearing clothes. They try to talk like they black. They try to act like they black. Like they just try to act black. Like it's nothing to try to hide on that. You know what I mean?
So our culture has its own style.
We have our own culture.
Personally,
our own style.
Yep,
exactly.
Whatever.
I'm gonna tell you something else. Since we're talking about this race thing, I'm gonna be real with you. Eminem, if Eminem could have said the word nigga and all that, he would be the top rapper in the world. Period.
I think he still is.
He don't say that in his
He
rap
don't
like
say
that.
it, but
you know how they say
I'm gonna say
Tupac, how they say
that
Biggie and Jay-Z and all these top rappers.
He don't have to.
He don't have to.
He don't have to.
He's talented.
They have
To be honest,
watch his wordplay.
Yeah, and then why should Jay-Z and all, they don't really have to say it.
No,
they do.
Wait. I don't think the N-word categorized whether you a good worker or not.
Exactly.
No, it don't, but because of his skin color, when we're talking about race, we're talking about race and what he can say.
That's more of a privilege thing. That's more, that falls in the category of being privileged and stuff, go in that category.
You ain't never privileged to say that word.
No, but I'm saying as far as, I'm not saying like as far as being privileged to say, I'm talking about as far as white privilege, like that, where, you know, white people think they're up there and you're down here.
But is dating like, say, Africans still out of your race? And
who's that guy?
Do other black people in the pan feel different about the so-called African American versus them?
African people do. They
feel different. Do they?
I'm a foreigner myself.
That's what I said.
I'm from South America, but in many regards, people from, I can say, may think that you guys got all this and squander it. So come to a meeting of the minds when you're dating someone from foreign lands, and they're going, "You lazy person, you."
He's saying that other Africans, we're African American, other Africans look at us as squandering privileges that we have. Because, and I understand what he's saying, because I have talked to Africans, and I have had conversations with Africans, and some of them are they have an anger towards African Americans, because they feel we're privileged, we don't apply ourselves, and we have not taken the steps or the necessary steps to go back to Africa. To understand where we come from, really. Like, we've been fed stuff in history, and we say, okay, fine, instead of us taking the initiative to really bring our communities together. So they look at us like we turning their backs. But that's not a part of me. That's my culture. That's my home. Don't get me wrong, but I can't say I've ever experienced that. What I want to, heck yeah. I mean, that's on my bucket list, to go to Africa. However, don't penalize me for something that I didn't ask for and my ancestors went through, and now you're saying, oh, well, because you are part of your ancestors, you are too privileged and you don't take this and you don't do that.
Well, I guess it comes from that setting of they're looking at where they come from. Mm. When you got to walk a ways to, certain places, maybe to find water, to get water, to get food, to get everything else. But yet, all you have to do is wake up in the morning, get on your little yellow school bus, and go to school. But yet, all we are seeing is you guys go to school, you fight, you want to use drugs, you pop it off at each other. In our country, oh my God, we beat kids. Kids get beat in school. I was beat in school.
I was too.
Yeah. No, you don't understand. It ain't we waiting and go to the principal. Your teacher's standing there with what we call a cane.
No, the teacher. She
gonna talk to you and crack this one over here. Keep moving. Say something you want to. Dare you to go home and tell that story. You might get a whooping back to school to apologize to that teacher for having to do that to you.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So we see it as you take what benefits this country is giving you. We don't. A lot of places they can't afford school.
Mm-hmm. So let's just say a white American woman married an African.
Be careful with that now, because there are white South Africans who will not allow you to call them white. They're South African. They're African.
You know what? And that has always been a thing with me.
Right.
If you're African American, right? Mm-hmm. But you're not from Africa. So why are you African American? Just like you just said, you have white South Africans, you have black South Africans. But if they ask you, I'm just African. I'm South African. So why do I have to be?
American?
Yeah. You don't say
Puerto Rican American.
I'm American.
Latino American.
Yeah.
American. That's it. I'm American. You know what? Because then again, when you go out and you start doing things like you, they can't identify you. Mm-hmm. They can identify you to separate you out, which we'll have that conversation another day. But they can identify you.
Yeah, but I've always wanted the answer to that, because I'm like, okay, if I've never been to Africa, because it's like, okay, you're born in Africa, right?
Yeah, well, South America.
But I'm just saying, I'm born in Africa.
Right.
And I come to America. Mm-hmm. Does that make me an African American?
That would be an African American.
Thank you. But if I'm born in America,
you're an American.
And never been to Africa.
And the reason I'm African American because I'm African by birth.
Exactly.
American by choice of getting citizenship. Uh-huh. Then there's a hyphenated. If you're born here,
you're just American.
The birth certificate say American.
Yeah.
Afro. U.S.
United States.
Right, United States.
You born in Switzerland?
No.
I'm not an African Switzerland. Or a Swiss African. I'm Swiss.
I wonder, So in like places like Europe, are they categorized as European
No.
Africans or
They're just
No,
Europeans.
They're Europeans.
So,
They're French.
but what are
They're
their relationships
Dutch.
like?
They're whatever.
What are their relationships like?
Now, the racial relationships may have a different standing, but who they are does not. Who they are is one thing.
Okay, let me clarify what I'm saying. If you go to Canada and you have an American woman with a Canadian man, they what? It's not black. Why is it a problem if your color skin is different for it to become
An issue?
an issue or?
our skin color is gonna be an issue?
Everywhere it goes.
Wherever we
Wherever
go.
it goes.
But I mean, because what I'm saying is, if you have a American white woman with a Canadian white man, that's still race, isn't it?
Well,
But the only difference is the skin color.
No,
there
Canadian, I'm gonna say Caucasian and American color. They look. That means the same.
They look the same. But
So
I mean,
it's not that is more. So we're talking about skin color.
Okay. Chinese
We're not-
people don't have skin color, but they would say something
They
about
do
that.
have a skin color. I mean, yeah, they
They have a
look on yellow.
The Chinese,
Yeah,
Japanese
they-
people,
they got a yellowish
have
color.
more of a look.
Now, understand, whites at one point did have a differentiation among themselves. Not all whites were created equal.
True.
They fought for inclusion, and the best way to have done that was to point to the excluded that can easily be identified. You.
True.
Because in other words, to know what kind of white I am, you'd have to ask me.
Blonde hair,
Blue eyes or whatever. You'd have to ask me outside of that.
Mm-hmm.
Am I from the Grammatic tribe? Am I a WASP? Am I whatever?
Irish.
Am I Slavic?
Because you have a lot of Irish people come on.
And the Irish, they weren't liked by the rest of the whites. The Irish were not liked by the rest of the whites. So they had to fight their way in to be a part of the club. So when they do go, no, they're the enemy. Forget about who I am.
Another thing I think also could be a problem with race mixing is religion.
Yeah,
Those
that.
are religious backgrounds because I know sometimes I don't know. I want to talk because I know of a Catholic and a Baptist, and the Baptist had to become Catholic in order to be married.
That's even with Jewish people. You know, if you got a Baptist and a Jewish people, are you going to convert to Judaism?
Somebody gonna convert?
Yeah. Or and then the issue is, are we raising our child Jewish in the Jewish religion? Are we raising the child in the Baptist religion? Are we raising the Catholic religion? You know, so all of those things come into play.
That's a deep one.
Oh yeah, there's a whole
But I mean, this
simplicity
is
of things.
everything that you have to think about when you're talking about when you start mixing races. Like, I to each his own. Hey, we got them from the lightest of the light to the darkest of the dark. Straying, I'm not doing.
I mean, even in my family,
You can't say
I can tell you. Yeah.
Well, if you ask me today, right now, yes, the heck I can.
Okay.
Now, you ask me 10 years from now, I don't know.
I don't know right now because dating
Fabio might
pool.
come by.
Wait a minute, because the dating pool right now is kind of like.
Right,
We
Fabio might be out there.
Look, man, when we used to have an ocean, now we got a little kiddie pool.
Kiddie pool.
So it's like you can barely like stick your foot in there
Right,
and come
right,
around.
You know, that's not the first time I've heard that. Like, you're not the first person, or y'all not the first person we in. Hey man, the dating game is that trying to change, this, that, blah, blah, blah.
Well,
I wouldn't know. I mean, I'm mad.
Now, dating outside race, I don't think it's inherently wrong. Don't get me wrong on that. I'm not saying it's a wrong thing to do. I'm saying, does it work for me?
Nah.
At this moment, like he said, no.
I mean, what's wrong with it?
I don't know if there's anything
with all that's
wrong
going on
with
in
it.
the culture.
Yeah, it's like it's a lot.
I think for me, I think is being able to be relatable.
Mm-hmm.
I think is my upbringing. I also wonder what happens when we get mad.
Mm-hmm.
Like you got
So the
to
first word, the first time you call
an argument with you and I, and an argument with someone of a different race gonna happen totally different.
There'll be a lot of picky words.
Yeah, I mean,
and I'm gonna tell you something else that happened when Trump was running for president. There were a lot of interracial couples that got divorced.
I can see that happening.
There were a lot of interracial couples that got divorced because it brought out things that in those couples that they didn't realize was there.
No, it was there. They just never had to address it.
Yeah, true. It never
Trump
came
said, pick a side. And I'm not saying that he has his right to feel, but he was vocal. He made it okay for the next person.
To speak how you feel.
And long story short, people started doing that. And conversation started. So that is a plus. Because the people who were underneath the rug was on top of the rug and looking at you.
And thought it was okay.
You them been under the rug and you not knowing they under the rug. So with that being said, I can totally understand that. Not anything, if that's your belief, that's your belief. However, if we're in the household and your belief is, I'm gonna look at you like,
okay.
The trust factor.
And
But you have black Republicans.
Yeah, you do.
Well, actually, blacks started out
as Republicans.
True.
Yeah.
What happened was a shift in the party.
In the 60s.
Yep. Ooh, good.
Don't try me now. Wait a minute.
You know, the big shift in the party, which I think.
And long story short, they started catering to needs. They
Right.
swing.
Right.
And then that's when, okay, we'll do this, do more of this for you. And they started pursuing votes.
And
long story short, and it just turn.
I think I look at that as a con, man. I look at that.
Hell, government is a big con. What you talking about?
I mean, it's a con, man.
But on a shallow note, I like the capaciousness of black women. But in these last few years, I don't know what they've been eating.
It's called Dr. Miami. Miami aesthetics. It's called Botox. It's called lipo. It's the BBLs.
You also gotta look at something. You know what I mean? When you was younger and you wanted something, you know what I mean? And you go ask mommy for it, and she tell you no. Then you go behind mommy back and daddy for it, and then you go get what you want. I think that's what the presidents and all them do. They play each other. They play other people against other people and get what they want.
Oh, I thought you was gonna say like we could go ask a white woman and you'll get it, and the black sister gonna say no.
And see, that's another thing.
It's other things, and that's right. Because you may ask, there's a lot of things that. Oh my God! Well, a lot of things that white women would put up with that a black woman won't.
I don't know.
Sookie.
It goes to the
Let's
personality.
go.
There's a lot of women who are more subservient than not. And it depends on your strength level. I mean,
I think a black woman is going to challenge a black man more than a white woman.
But look what they came through.
Exactly.
It's not the fact that we just want to challenge a black man, but
exactly. It's not that we're trying to challenge you or to belittle you or berate you or anything like that, but we're trying to bring the best out of you.
Sometimes.
Yeah, for the most part.
Sometimes. But now you're having us, black women, starting to gravitate to other nationalities.
Very much so.
Yeah. And one time you saw it more with the men. The women are really ramping up with dating outside their race or their culture, and our race.
And one of the reasons is, like I said, we got a kiddie pool. That dating pool has shrunk. If you look at the statistics, as far as black men are concerned, it's not like we got a whole bunch out there to choose from between them being dead, in jail, already married or gay,
On
we
drugs.
screwed. On drugs,
No, I
we
think
screwed.
it's also the narrative that's been pitched to us and we echo it back.
Mm-hmm.
So the idea of, let's get past whatever you've done for me lately, but I'm the strong black independent woman.
Mm-hmm.
I'm still waiting to hear the strong black independent white woman.
Uh-huh.
Why is it that, women can't help move and guide you? I mean,
And
in
why-
a very honest place, my
And then that's
wife
another
moved
thing.
and guided me to get to where I had to go.
Why do black women always gotta be the strong?
The strong, well, that's the point.
Why we
Stop
always gotta
throwing
be-
that narrative around.
But see, that's
Allow
the thing.
yourself to be vulnerable, including the men. But it's allow yourself to have and know when to put them out front and when to
Pull
take
back.
the lead.
All right. The strong black woman comes from us feeding other race kids with our own bodies. Strength is something to be proud of. So strong black woman is because you had Caucasian women that didn't breastfeed their woman, but if a black woman had a child and was able to breastfeed,
She
she
had
was breastfeeding. That how much strength that takes. This ain't my thing, but we do it in our culture, and they do it. They have tribes where they do that. You have your mother tribe and the ones that are lactating. They will do that, but to be forcefully
Told to do that.
told to do that.
But
Go ahead. In addition to that, you with slaves men weren't taking in the holes. White men got cold. Who you think was comforting them? Strong comes from the stuff we endured. So don't take that word away.
two things. One, actually, black men were raped more than black women.
Yes. It was called buck breaking.
Breaking.
Yep, buck breaking.
There was a huge child sex rings. It was normal. So they had little black children dressed up, and so there was a lot. The whole thing of slavery, we missed the fact that it wasn't all in the fields.
Mm-mm.
There was a sex slave ring that went from south to north and back, both women and men. But back then, being gay wasn't acceptable.
Mm-mm.
But breaking a big buck.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, that's
acceptable.
You're not gay.
Yeah,
You're
buck
getting
break.
under control.
Yeah.
and
then a lot of times they would do it in front of the women.
Right. No, that's what they did. They did it in front of the whole group.
Yeah.
The biggest black man tied down over a barrel, and he's. So I would say, yes, black women have carried our culture at the expense of the black man being destroyed.
Mm-hmm.
And I think we need to try to give them a hand up, even though, let me say, our brothers out there doing some wild stuff that they shouldn't. But look at how you can destroy the culture.
Mm-hmm.
You first take the women.
Yeah.
Educate them, do everything. I'm not saying it's a bad thing. They should be educated. But what they're doing is they're excluding us and bringing the women in and then say, well, look at where they're at.
Well, that's what we're the ones that can procreate. So if we're the ones that's procreating, and anybody injures us and we have a child and it's of another culture, that's continuing to wipe them out.
Thank you.
Wipe the black man out.
Right.
Put it that way.
Right. So in a relationship having kids, we're talking about how do you raise that child. Okay? So we got a kid who's looking at their mama who is black or white, and looking at the daddy who is black or white. It's mixed race. How do you raise that child?
In a loving home. Because that's what's going to help break the chains.
And be honest.
That child has to grow up and be an effect on the world.
So what do you expose them to both cultures
Both
and sit
sides.
down and
That's
talk
what I
about?
I would most definitely expose them to both sides. But understand that in your American history, there were horrors that took place.
Yeah.
Don't hide that. Horrors that took place. Don't hide that.
Not horror. Horror.
Oh, I said
Just like in Germany, they have to take that bitter pill and say, yeah, we kind of had a nutbag that ran this place. And he burned Jews and did all those other things. America has to eat their... But guess what? We won't officially take the stance that slavery happened here. The first guy to try to do it was Bill Clinton, and they were like, please try and watch me get you out of that seat real quick. Mm-hmm. Make an apology for slavery and see what happens.
Yeah, I remember that.
Now you have to do something about it.
You got to do something about it.
Right.
And they actually, right now, I was just reading, they got something on the table about reparations. They're still talking about reparations for slavery.
A lot of people don't know this. America was tried and sued. They were tried and sued and won and lost for in the international court for human. What is it?
I know exactly. I remember. I can't. Oh my God!
Right.
Yeah,
I know that people don't know about it.
I read it. Yeah. I read about that. A lot of people don't know about that.
They were found, America was found guilty.
And that's another thing, reason why they keep talking about the reparations is because of that.
Right. Now,
they're saying that
you accept that or you acknowledge it. That's why it would never come to our news system.
Because America would go broke.
Fighting it before they.
Yeah. Not only that, if America had to pay reparations to all the black descendants of slavery, America would go broke. They would go broke.
I mean, yeah, work it as a tax issue.
Yep. They would. Ugh.
I'm like, so let me ask you something. You say the dating pool is
kiddie pool.
It's a kiddie pool.
I call it a glass of water.
Are you considered dating outside your race?
Well, like we said in the beginning, I did date a couple of times outside my race.
What race was that?
Well, the first person I dated, he was a Mexican guy, but he was cool though, and he looked like the boxer. That's why I no.
I don't know. Look, I don't know about you. Please don't tell me. It ain't matter if I'm on
Oh, he is not Mexican.
Yeah, he's Puerto Rican.
What's the no?
Oh shit.
You're dead. There you go.
I don't know. I don't know boxing.
He looked like, because when I first saw, and then the thing about it is, the way I met him was in the club. He was in and out, hanging out club. And I'm like, and because at first when I saw him, I'm like, what the hell? Is that Oscar De La Hoya up in here? That's what I was thinking. Honestly, that's what I was thinking. I was like, oh, snap. No, I didn't. Actually, I didn't. I was just saying, because I was like, what he doing here?
Okay, so what happened?
I mean, he started talking to me. Okay, we exchanged numbers, and I didn't think nothing else of it. I never thought I'd hear from him again, to be honest. But he called me. We started talking. We went out a couple of times, and he was cool. He was a little bit younger than me. But the thing that I think with us, number one, he was in the military. So
hold on now.
You don't trust those.
No, it's not that. Because no, it wasn't that. I knew that eventually he would have to, he was going to get PCS and probably have to go somewhere.
Okay.
Yeah, that was one thing. The other thing is, we would try to go out, right? And then you would have people. I remember one time we went out. We had just came from the club or whatever. We was going out, and we was going out to eat afterwards. And we were in. Remember when IHOP was on not Victory, over there on Mall Boulevard.
Yeah.
We was coming out of there.
Across from the mall.
Yeah, and we were walking out, and a guy gonna try to slide me his number while we were walking out.
Wait. What color?
Black guy.
Oh, that was me.
No, you know what you said?
That was me who gave you that number.
I know who you're talking about, man. Finna get this black one.
So with that, it kind of was like too much. It was just too. I didn't want to deal with
when that black guy slipped you the number, in your mind, what did you? Well, I don't know if you can remember, but.
I was just like, really? I mean, to be honest, I didn't even really look at the number. When I got outside, I balled it up and I threw it away.
Why didn't you take it?
I don't know. I just took it. And matter of fact, wait a minute. No, I didn't. I did not. I did not take it.
It was
And I was just like, I looked at him, and then he wasn't cute either. So that didn't help him none. So I left. Me and him left. I never told him about it, but that's what happened.
You know what was always a scary situation for me? And this was before OJ. OJ made it worse in the dating pool. Literally, I was always afraid of a white woman saying something like, he did something to me.
Mm-hmm.
I always thought to myself, I could date, but what if I get into an argument and she called the police and say he did this?
I know that.
I would be in a pretzel in
that happened to a football player. Y'all remember that?
Right.
Y'all remember?
Yeah.
I don't forgot what his name was. He was dating a white.
Georgia.
I don't know.
It scares me.
He was dating a white girl, and they had an argument or something, and she said she could call the police, and they would leave her because she was white.
Wait a minute. Did y'all hear about the case? I don't know if you know about white police officer dating a black police officer. She walked in the house and shot him and killed him.
No.
Oh no.
This is what happened a while back. The case just got adjudicated.
Wow.
So judges, when they have the case,
the white cop was a male.
no, the black cop was male. The white was a female.
And
I believe he was a
then
cop, but
they
it was a
shot
black.
her.
Let's just say it was a black male and a white female police officer.
So one white, okay.
White woman.
White woman, black man.
So she walks into their apartment and said, "I thought it was someone else that shot and killed him."
Wow.
So she was found pretty much guilty. And you know when you are, the judges have parameters.
Mm-hmm.
Here's the highest I can give you. Here's the lowest I can give you.
She got under the lowest.
She went below the lowest. Even though she was found guilty,
It was a black
she's found guilty. I'm killing this guy.
Hold on.
So that scares me.
How do you talk to a biracial kid about treatment from the police?
Ooh, good one.
The same way you would talk to your black kid.
Yeah, you would have to because
Yeah.
he's a black child.
Yeah.
The same way.
Because let me tell you,
Because in their eyes, you black.
You black.
You black. You black.
And I'm gonna tell you now, when my boys get pulled over, they call me. I'm on the phone, period. Time when them lights hit,
But
them
you know
people
what?
call me.
I remember telling my daughter, call me, and if I need to let the
voice
record.
But here's the trick of it is, let's just say what side that they spent the most time with.
Mm-hmm.
Things happen.
Mm-hmm.
Dad's here, child stays with mom's side, white family, kid can pass. Almost.
Mm-hmm.
You can see the black in them.
Mm-hmm.
But that's the culture they raised in, schools they went to, everything they did.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, yeah. You get stopped. That's what the police not gonna ask you.
Did any of you watch Bel Air?
Yes.
You remember that part?
You talking about the new
The new one.
No, I haven't.
Watch the new Bel Air, and that whole issue comes up.
Wow.
So Carlton is so engrossed in that.
Uh-huh.
He's in this room dancing while all his white friends are saying "nigga, nigga" to the rap words, and he's going, "What do you
At the pool party.
Yeah, what do you see that's wrong with that? It's just a song." So
Well,
what do you say? What's the term? Sometimes your environment, nature and nurture, can have a big effect. How you were raised, nurtured, can change how you see the world. And then you go out there thinking the world is one way.
Yeah.
Until you run into the right things.
Uh-huh.
So, the question go back.
They're black.
When you dating outside of your race,
There's a lot of dangers to be.
And I'm gonna tell you when
a lot of dangers
I dated
For that child.
I dated a Mexican guy, I dated a white guy as well, but I just
now what guy? Why?
Because I couldn't. I just.
Hold on, let me ask you something. Was it really you, or did you think about how people was going to see you?
I think it was me. I'll just say it was probably both, but I think it was more of me than what people were going to say.
What were you feeling?
I just felt that
he was too soft.
No, it was. I just didn't. I just couldn't. I was just like, I couldn't do it. I just couldn't do it. I was like, you.
My black woman challenged me so much.
You know, I was like, I just. To be okay.
Have you ever been attracted to another race? Like I would look and I'm like, oh,
Yeah.
You like, but for him to come and talk to me and be a white boy friend.
But I'm gonna date him.
And I'm like, and I've had conversations like, you know what? Why don't you try it? And even in trying, I'm like, it feels like my feet are moving, but I have center blocks. Like my body leans forward, but nothing else goes forward.
The finer she is in white, please God don't let me I'd rather get pulled over with a car full of crack.
Wow.
Than this fine ass white woman.
Mm.
And then a white cop stopped me. Oh Lord, that's going all wrong.
Mm.
Like that movie.
I'm not even right. I'm not even dealing with that kind of
That's what it
hell.
was?
No.
That movie Crash.
And especially with my mouth and the way I deal with police. No.
Like that movie Crash.
Crash, I haven't seen it, but
With
You haven't seen
Terrence
it?
Howard.
oh yeah.
Yeah.
I'll be the
With Bruce
person.
Willis.
Yes. When he found up his dude's wife.
Yeah.
Mm.
And he didn't do anything because he was like, okay,
How do I move? I'll be
What
shot.
do I do?
Mm-hmm.
And he got everything over here, and he can lose that.
Because I had all these same young white people telling me the same thing. Well, if you'd done this better.
Yeah. Really?
Okay, so I don't know why I'm having all the questions in my mind right now. It's really
Go.
100,000 miles an hour. So, being that, okay, we've been known to be curvaceous, shaped.
Yes, go.
So now you have other races that are altering and doing things to their body. Some do it, some don't, and I think the ones that don't actually have a hint of us, or possibly, well, I don't know.
Yeah, there's something in it.
So, okay, so their bodies, like, I was like, one time, having hips and butt was like a no. Like, you can't
That
do
changed
that.
with Jennifer Lopez.
You can't do that. You can't do that. So
And-
now you have curvaceous other races.
Mm-hmm.
I think their man nature is a man nature. And I believe they'll go after whatever, physically what they see, and you see curves.
No.
So I'm not
be
saying
careful
that
with
that's the
guys.
thing.
Guys, we're allowed to talk. We might sit there and heckle and do all the other stuff, but we're not going to step out there like that. It's talk.
Well, listen, y'all talk a whole
We talk
lot.
a heck of a lot of trash, but
Because-
you can't what we do.
You know,
What we do is different.
we've been in a sports spot.
I mean, you know how many times I've been out the house?
Cultures come by, and depends on how she built.
The eyes going.
I mean, it's
this.
like, and
They
then, now I can honestly say I haven't seen one put forward, but the first thing, it's like automatically she
Yeah,
feels.
get it.
She can get it though. She dating somebody black. Like I'm
Like the
serious.
food is doing it, like the food is doing it, or they doing something to do it.
But
Like,
you gotta
why are they doing that to their bodies? What do they want to achieve?
Oh,
There's
of
but
course.
see, the thing about it is, you got, and that's another thing that bothers me.
Understand the standard of beauty.
Though.
At one time, it was one thing. Now they are looking
The
back
all-American
at beauty.
woman was a blonde,
Right.
blue-eyed woman with no ass
And look at Barbie
and a
now.
size 2.
Barbie got
But
it.
now all of a sudden, the standard beauty is voluptuous, nice size, big lips. Don't forget the full lips.
My question.
Oh, tanning it.
It got to be tan.
My question is,
But they want everything you are, but don't want to be you. They want
Exactly.
everything you are, but don't
Don't
want
want
to
to
struggle.
but guess what else they want?
Our black
Our
women.
man too, right?
That's what they're doing.
They want
Right,
our
right,
black
right.
women. They want
What's
our-
appealing to y'all? When y'all see a black, and not every black woman is not shaped like that.
Nope.
However, that's what we're known for.
Naturally.
So, what attracts y'all physically? Y'all, everything is physical.
Yeah, the first thing you're gonna meet before you meet another minds, you're gonna feed them eyes.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, the first thing I'm looking for when I see a black woman is thick, curvaceous.
Now
That's a sign of health to me.
Mm-hmm.
She can bring forth babies with that body.
And you know what? That goes back to our African heritage.
Right.
That goes back to the African heritage.
Yep.
That's the first thing a man think about when he see a woman with a big butt.
And think about she can carry that birth.
I couldn't have been no more than late teen, when I said 18, 19, 20. So I'm gauging that. And it was an African guy. He was riding past the house on his bicycle. And he got down and he turned around and he came back around. And he was like, you were meant to have babies. And I'm like, I'm saying that he's crazy. But I didn't understand. But as I got older and met different people, I was like, oh, well, that's not what's happening. But I understood why he said it.
But
I felt so disrespectful.
If you small, you're sick.
Mm.
They don't want nothing to do with you.
Mm-hmm.
Little women are sick. Skinny is not attractive where I'm from. You have to be a healthy, thick
You
woman.
remember that? What was the name of that movie with Monique?
Fat girls, PHAT.
Yeah.
Girls. Fat girls.
And the girl on there, she ain't trying to eat up all the food and stuff. Because she said, I gotta give me one. And she just trying to eat up all the food and stuff. And she was like, oh, y'all just got these African names, you got African and so she's sitting there trying to eat everything. I'm like, give me that, give me them greens. Yeah. Because I used to feel bad about me. Because, you know, I was always like small, right? What you bumping?
Go ahead.
But then I kind of sort of gained a few pounds because of the...
Where? I'm going ahead. I'm sorry. Tell your story.
Really, Susan? I did. I gained a few pounds, and I kind of sort of felt self-conscious about it. I was like, yeah, I gained a few pounds and stuff.
Which dude told you that?
No, it wasn't really told me that. But, I could tell that I done gained some weight, especially when I tried to put some clothes on and
You
they didn't
ladies
fit.
are your own worst enemy. When you walk in and the guys are sitting there like, oh my God, look at that thing. Ain't nobody looking at no skinny looking.
You're not.
No.
I don't know.
It's a rare, for me,
it's
it's a spectrum thing. If you look at
Looking
the
like
normal
a
belt,
I'm like, nah.
there's a weird guy on each end that likes super
I don't
obese
like-
and
I don't
super
like
skinny.
small guys.
Everybody else falls in the middle. We like thick.
You gotta be big and thick.
Thick! Grown
You
woman.
gotta have
Grown
ass
woman.
and hips.
So basically, you saying I
That's what I
shouldn't be
like.
worried about trying to lose no weight.
You should. What you trying to lose? God, what you losing? Don't lose nothing.
Apparently, I'm losing
If
my
you
hair.
got hips and thighs,
Don't lose nothing.
I'm gonna keep you alive.
She gonna keep you alive.
Look into my eyes. Hey!
Stop with these damn things.
You
They're
got-
lying to you.
If you got hips and thighs, I'm gonna keep you alive.
Think about it. The diet industry is $1 billion industry that's lying to you.
Mm.
Lose weight for what? Oh, so you can look better for people that already like you the way you
Man,
are?
they got plus
If
size
your
models.
husband is significant other didn't tell your ass to go to the gym, you all right.
Sometimes it's health issue. It's not on
They
me.
got plus size
I'll take it for the health part, but you have to get a very...
Sometimes I just want to tone up, I just need to.
Now, unless your doctor said that your weight is exacerbating your diabetes or breaking your ankles because of too many pounds on top, you okay. Just go on right around the track over time.
I'm gonna be real with you, like, it don't matter. Black, white, Chinese, Japanese, Asian, whatever. But if you got your head on right, I mean, you skinny, you big. I ain't talking about big sloppy, like 600 pound type, can't move.
Wait a
can't
minute.
roll.
Because let me tell
I
you
see
something.
it. I know.
My 600-pound life, them women have men.
Okay.
Not much.
And those men are sticking by their side.
And guess what?
I'm not talking about
I was sitting by your side get a check
And
too.
every time I watch that show and I see a 7
You're like, what the hell am I doing wrong?
what in the hell?
What's up, Dave? Like,
Let me go to Popeyes. Let me go to that Popeyes.
You gotta get a check.
what is your
They
game?
get a check.
Skills.
I get checks.
Cause I'm sitting there like, I know Big Pun got money, but damn, dog.
See, you got to go out and get a check. They get to stay home with their woman and get that check.
What? No!
Ain't
You
nothing
gotta
about
sleep for that check.
Man, they get a
How
check.
you get into it?
No, but listen.
They man, how you get into
Wait,
the
wait,
check?
wait. Hold
No,
on.
get into her parts.
Oh, she don't let
You
it.
stupid.
Hey, don't worry about the parts. Hey, then don't worry about the parts. All you need is a head and shoulders. All you need is a head and shoulders. Head and shoulders, baby. Hey, let me stand up on the edge of the counter and get some head and shoulders.
You need help,
And
sir.
look, and there went the show.
You
We
need
don't
help,
get out
sir.
the gate. I'm on
We were
95
doing
today.
so well. We were doing so well.
I'm on 95
Get
today.
on the reservation.
Y'all, we're not
Oh,
gonna
Lord.
Yeah, I'm about to get off for extra 2 more.
I'm just, shut up. Be quiet. Be quiet. Be quiet. Yeah, okay. Get off. Y'all get off. Go park.
Wow.
You go park. Turn the car off.
Head
Take
and
the key.
shoulders.
Oh my
So
God.
bring in your keys.
Okay. Oh Lord.
Hey, hit the offline.
You worry about getting to the parts. All I need is head and shoulders. I'm good.
Would you please
Okay,
take
be
the
quiet. Mute. Where your mic? Mute him. Mute him. Oh my God. Ooh, jeez, Monet. I
Hey, I'm just joking, man.
You know what?
I don't know.
I don't even know where we're going.
Hey.
I know where we're going because I see
We
what
can have
you're
the
doing.
Yeah,
Yeah,
you don't even need to talk no more. Look, you go stand in the corner. For the rest
We're
of
going
the
back.
show.
We're down back.
You go stand in the corner. We don't even need you no
Oh,
more.
goodness.
We're down there.
Okay.
Please take control then.
Okay. I'm gonna need you. Just don't say anything. Just sit there, just like that. Yeah. Sip on your pineapple juice. Okay. All right. Ew. Well, I don't even know what we were saying. What were we saying?
I
Jesus.
don't know.
We were talking
We
about
went so far left.
We're talking about
the
race
yeah.
mixing and racial
Right, yeah.
dating.
Thank you.
Yeah, he started.
I do have a question.
What?
How do those conversations initiate? Like for me, when I was in the arcade, he used the game to kind of like break the ice, and from there he kind of like just like followed me, and we just played different games. Like when you approached her, or did she approach you?
She did. She just said I was cute. That's
You know
it.
what?
And
I
went
think
from
I've noticed that the other cultures are.
there. I went from there. I was like, oh, so you like
What's
that guy?
What's that white comedian? Great guy.
Gary Owens.
Gary Owens. He's like, he can't do nothing but black women.
Oh,
I mean, I'm not mad at him. I'm like, do you, bro? But now I see that they get more aggressive. Because I understand,
Yeah.
we're not an easy race to break the ice with. Even among ourselves. Especially when outsiders are coming in trying to make a way in to talk to us.
But you know what? The funny thing about that is, I'm gonna tell you. Even back in the day, you remember when Steinmart was in the mall?
Yes.
I used to work at Steinmart, and I used to work the customer service desk. And I used to have white guys come up to me all the freaking time.
Want to take you to
let me
lunch?
tell you,
Huh?
I
Want to
think
take
it's
you to
other
lunch?
national races
All the time.
decided to want to be with us. I'm telling you, I honestly believe that every other race, other than us, want a piece of us.
You're exotic. You just don't get it. You had so much. You had because you had so much of living in America and hearing this. And here's the reason why. In the military, I went to France. I'm sitting on the boat and I'm not going out there. They didn't want nothing to do with me. No joke. These girls are going, hey, that guy right there, and I'm pointing at everybody around me. And all of them was like, wait a minute, him? They're all like, yes. I'm like,
I heard in Germany it's the same way.
no, I'm like, Germany too.
But in Italy, Italian men love
Love
black
black
women.
women.
They love
Right.
black women in Italy.
Everywhere.
I'm moving.
It's just that in America, In America, there's that narrative that the standard of beauty is this skinny white woman. Actually, around the world, it's not.
You know what? I just thought about something.
We might need to go to Italy.
I'm sorry. Wait. Whoa.
I promise you. I was on a plane.
Y'all know.
I was living in Texas at the time. And I was on a plane on my way to California to visit my brother for the holidays. And it was these two Italian guys that were on the plane and they were playing this game. And I was just watching the game because I thought the game was interesting. And so I'm just, I wasn't saying anything to them or anything, but I was just, watching them play. So one of the guys who just started talking to me just struck up a conversation and stuff. Next thing I know, this dude asked me talking about, hey, why don't you come to me to Vegas? I'm like, no, you come to me to Vegas. I'll pay your flight to go. No, I'm good. I'm just gonna go ahead.
He wasn't playing either.
He wasn't.
Exactly.
And I was like, no, I'm good. I'm going straight down. I gotta meet my brother. No, But he was like, I'll get, I can take care of you. I'll take care of you. I'll buy your plane ticket and no, I'm straight.
We're going to Italy.
But
You've been added to my bucket list.
the way I see it is, don't turn down nothing but your collar.
Hey.
If that's your thing.
Say, don't turn down anything but your collar.
Hey, I've heard that before.
If that's your thing.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not here to judge you one way or another. For me personally, it's a different thing of how it's going to be balanced.
Don't get me wrong, because I went to a family reunion and blue eyes, blonde hair, and I was like, who are they?
Mm-hmm.
They
and they made good for themselves.
mine. No.
They're your people.
They were my people. They were my people. And I was like, guess what happened? I immediately got mad. Because I'm like, you my people. Or my people got your last name.
Okay.
No, I embrace mine. I mean, I have a multicultural thing going on, and if you are going to embrace the bloodline like that as family, then we're family. Family for me is a big deal.
Yeah.
Family for me is a big deal.
Right.
I have to get there. That life. And don't get me wrong.
It's a lot. And I would encourage all of you that if you ever have the opportunity to take the time to, because I know people have these discussions all the time. So this is just our opinion on this subject matter. And everyone is entitled, as the show says, express opinion, and you are entitled to your opinion on this. But this is just a little bit of our opinion and things that we've encountered and experienced, and you probably experienced some of the same things. So, but anyway, we thank you for watching. We hope that this has, brought out some questions in you that you need to ask yourself. Have you ever dated or consider dating outside of your race?
No, yay.
Yeah, hey.
2 and 2.
It is what it is.
The world is balancing.
We want to thank you so much for joining us on this episode. We appreciate it. Don't forget to click the like, share, subscribe, and
that bell. Bing.
Notification button.
Notification bell.
We're going to see you next time. I am your girl, Lynn Roberts.
I'm that girl, DC.
And I'm your boy, T-Boy.
Big C's.
Big C's. And remember, everyone is entitled to their own opinion, and never be afraid to express yours. We'll see you next time. Smooches.
Head and shoulders.
You know what? You retarded.
He's telling you.
Hey, that's all I can do with him.